I'm sure we've all experienced our fair share of photo fails on social media, whether it be accidentally timing a selfie at the exact moment a dog is making the poo-poo in the background, taking a photo the exact moment your little brother is making the poo-poo in the background, or getting the picture with yourself making the pee-pee in the background. It's hard to notice every potentially embarrassing part in an image you've just taken, which might be why Braun Strowman has deleted a recent Instagram story. Strowman shared a bathroom mirror selfie of him looking absolutely enormous with the text caption, "Just a little ab update." It provides a fascinating glimpse into how the monster among men lives, like his ultra gentle daily cleanser in the foreground and toilet roll spilling out of the door behind him. But the part that's caught the comment section attention the most was the syringe next to the sink. There could be many reasons why someone would have a syringe at home. Diabetes, IVF to clone yourself, but whenever syringes are seen around someone with bodybuilder-like physiques, the speculation jumps to steroids. After comments accused him of this, Braun deleted that original story and posted a follow-up explanation. For everyone trying to make a big deal about the last post I did and delete, I take B12 shots every day because my body is super sensitive to caffeine and I can only use so much without it feeling like I'm having heart palpitations. Thank you. If I was experiencing heart palpitations from consuming so much caffeine, I'd probably first address that by not consuming so much caffeine. Social media controversies like this might soon be a scandal of the past though, because WWE will soon own and control everything their wrestlers do. In the same year that's seen them fire 40% of their workforce at the start of a pandemic, maintaining a business relationship with a human rights abusing regime in Saudi Arabia, and booking Goldberg to beat The Fiend, WWE must have thought they could get away with anything. But this last month, they stepped over the line. They took away the wrestlers' video games. WWE told its roster 4 weeks ago that talent should pass over their Twitch channels, Cameo accounts, and any other third-party relationships they've been using to make extra money since the pandemic began. And now Fightful has leaked that actual ultimatum email Vince McMahon sent to talent last week about it. Just a friendly reminder that this Friday, October the 2nd, is the deadline for severing any unauthorized business relationships with third parties. As was mentioned in my September 3rd message, continued violations beyond this deadline will result in fines and may result in suspension or termination. If you need further details, please contact our EVP of Operations, Brad Blum. Thank you, Vince. Apparently this is ahead of an official WWE Cameo partnership, where WWE will take any of the money wrestlers were getting and make it count towards their downside guarantee. Fightful spoke to numerous wrestlers in the company about the new rules, and, unsurprisingly, a tense standoff is brewing. Thanks for your support on Patreon, Superkick Nick Mizosku. While two top names said it didn't affect them directly, as WWE takes care of them financially and they've been too busy to set up a Cameo or Twitch anyway, they all sympathize with the wrestlers who've had their own creative outlets and extra revenue taken away from them. Numerous WWE wrestlers said that with the new changes, they likely won't see any additional money. Understandably, there is a lot of frustration for WWE stars because the services were not outlined in their contracts, which mean that these new restrictions will necessitate amendments or entirely new contracts for the roster. For these new deals, WWE is set to face significant resistance, as almost all talent Fightful spoke to said they wouldn't bother signing a new deal or opting in if that was presented to them, despite management threatening the roster with fines, suspensions, or even termination if they don't comply. The main roster doesn't think anyone will actually get fired, and nobody has yet been forced to sign a new contract. Paige and Zelina Vega, meanwhile, have teased researching unionization on social media. That might be a very naive stance to take though, as WWE are not afraid to make examples of people who don't go along with what the company wants, like booking you to botch your Money in the Bank cash-in, cough Baron Corbin, cough. And Otis is apparently in danger of having his briefcase taken away too, as the very reliable WrestleVotes has tweeted. There have been multiple pitched ideas to remove the Money in the Bank Bank briefcase from Otis and make the storyline a main focus again, some of which are really decent ideas, I've been told. However, and this is a big however, Otis's biggest fan is Vince. So right now, no go. Otis's act with Mandy has already been broken up, with Rose being drafted to Raw just 2 weeks ahead of the actual draft. And now The Miz is suing Otis for unsafe working conditions, which they'll drop if he hands over the briefcase. WWE appear to have put themselves into a corner, with Otis not being credibly built up enough to challenge either brand's top champions Roman Reigns or Drew McIntyre, unless him and Tucker use the cash-in on the tag team championships, as Otis suggested in an interview back in July. What do you want to see from Otis and the Money in the Bank shot? Let me know in the comments, where I'll be replying, make him the leader of Retribution too! Raw could do with some new tag teams like Heavy Machinery, as PW Insider is reporting Angel Garza and Andrade are officially done as an act together, following Garza's injury at Clash of Champions. The Viking Raiders are also off TV right now, with Ivar needing neck surgery after a botched dive outside. His tag partner Eric has seemingly used their hiatus to fix a few of his own injuries, posting on Instagram that he's had some hardware removed from his cyborg arm, as a surgical screw has been protruding into one of his triceps for the last several years. This is the sort of Instagram post where syringes are acceptable in the background. And now here's everything else in wrestling news. Chris Jericho has snapped at a fan on Twitter who had called him a Trump supporter, criticising Fozzy for performing at the Sturgis Rally COVID Super Spreader event. Y2J, on the eve of his 30th anniversary special for AEW Dynamite, responded, "Hi, f*** off, not in the mood today, dipsh." WWE have announced a third woman to join their board of directors, Erica Nardini, who made her name as CEO of Barstool Sports and aided the company into its expansion into new areas such as gambling and alcohol production, business. And WWE might need to expand into those areas soon, as this week's TV ratings for Raw were down again, falling to 1.68 million, amongst the lowest in the show's history. Netflix's excellent wrestling-based series Glow, however, has been cancelled altogether because shooting the physically intimate wrestling scenes between actors wasn't possible under social distancing measures. All while actual wrestling has continued uninterrupted throughout the pandemic. This has prompted an outpouring of support from fans and the cast alike, one of whom being Impact wrestler Taya Valkyrie, who revealed she had been cast in Season 4. Speaking of Impact, last night's show saw Heath Slater's latest attempt to get an actual contract, which didn't happen again, where he revealed WWE had actually offered him a chance to return following his very impressive one-shot appearance against Drew McIntyre back in July. Rhino apparently convinced him to turn that down so he could debut at Impact Slammiversary 2 weeks later. And in more Where Are They Now news, EC3 is still controlling his own narrative, with Ring of Honor airing a video package for his debut there. EC3 had also returned to Impact following his WWE release, and Kurt Angle has been announced for next year's Jericho Cruise. But all those announcements pale in comparison to next week's QuizzleMania, because you might remember I, Mr. Davis, still hold the QuizzleMania Tag Team Championships with my mortal enemy, lukewarm Luke Owen. I said I'd never team with him again, but then we got a challenge that's too big to turn down, because next Wednesday the 14th, Mr. Davis and Lukewarm will defend our QuizzleMania Tag Team Championships. How will we coexist against former New Japan IWGP Tag Team Champions, former WWE Raw Tag Team Champions, the winner of the prestigious Tag Team World Cup, current Impact stars and creators of Talking Shoppermania, the Good Brothers, Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows? We're Subscribe to Parts Unknown now and enable notifications to always on to know first when that goes live. But before then, it's me versus Luke in our live streamed WWE draft today. Click the video on the right to watch that now. And what the hell is going on with Mustafa Ali leading Retribution? Click the video below that to hear my thoughts. I've been Mr. Davis. Jam that jam. We're coming for you, good brothers.